but I have only reason. Keep you closer tonight, but when the sun goes down.
Women's Collegiate Gymnastics National Invitational Championship. Let's meet the 4 universities that will battle for this historic title. First, from Cape Girardeau, Missouri, the Southeast Missouri State University Red Hawks. Here are the Red Hawk gymnasts, Jaden Kasuk, Madison Green, Savannah Poulos, Nina Reeder, Gracie Jones, Janelle Lopez, Eileen Keene, Olivia Hubach, Lindsay Ockler, Kaylin Hamilton, Courtney Henry, Anna Lee Phillips, Amelia May, Jordan Napolitano, Jocelyn Hernandez, Leah Barton, Sydney Crouch, Taylor Ingle, and Ava Johnston. The head coach for the Red Hawks is Ashley Lawson. She's assisted by Lydia Tess and Kira Hotel. Ladies and gentlemen, the SEMO Red Hawks. And now, our second team from Denton, Texas, America. Please welcome the Texas Women's University Pioneers. Here are the Tina gymnasts, Bailey Upton, Ruby Gold, Brooke Ferrari, Kylie Gambari, Lainey Hunt, Trinity Kathy, Elena Reed, Jordan Luke, Bailey Bourgeois, Amane Lang, Maddie Murphy, Sophie Hernandez, Sophia Steffen, Cami Zarnando, Ellie Eadhouse, Caitlin Boylan, Steely King, Caroline Mound, Emma Bartlett, and Sophia Isbell. The head coach for the Pioneers is Lisa Bowerman. She's assisted by Zan Jones and Kiana George. Ladies and gentlemen, the TWU Pioneers. And here is our third team from Bridgeport, Connecticut, the University of Bridgeport, Purple Knights. Let's meet the Purple Knight gymnasts. Silmara Jennings, Samira Singletary, Catherine Aucoin, Gracie Walker, Taylor Pettit, Hannah Berry, Nova Starek, Lola Sepulveda, Olivia Imbarlina, Lena Coxon, Skylar Volches, Ray Solie, Maggie Toyle, Emily Hernandez, Ryan Tompkins, Emily Turner, Abigail Kenny, Madeline Biles, Taylor Rendina, Molly McAlevey, Nicole Pujol, Quinn Aiken, Hannah Saylor, Samantha Noakes, Kieran Ross, Brooklyn Weingart, Samantha Krensel, and Savannah Lindley. The Purple Knights are coached by Lorraine Gallo. She's assisted by Alexa Richardson and Sarah Brew. Ladies and gentlemen, the Bridgeport Purple Knights. And here is our fourth and final team from Westchester, Pennsylvania, the Westchester University Golden Rams. Make some noise for the Golden Ram gymnast, Riley Harada, Natalie Marshall, Hannah Shelton, Lily McFarland, Anna Lacey, Caitlin Allen, Hannah Elkins, Emma Grace Kelly, Bridget Sullivan, Tatum McGuinn, Corinne Gruber, Caroline Cascadden, Jordan Coleman, Sarah SQ, Melina Ringus, Shannon Carroll, McCarthy Keene, Catherine Keener, Lydia Stoner, and Kara Fargo. Westchester is coached by Barb Cordova. She's assisted by Stephanie Stevens. Ladies and gentlemen, the Westchester University Golden Rams. And now, ladies and gentlemen, this time we ask that you please rise, remove your caps, and direct your attention to the American flag hanging from the wall of the Gold Dome. Before competition, we will pause to honor those who serve our country both at home and abroad with the playing of the Star-Spangled Banner. Gymnasts, you may now move to your first event and prepare for your touch warm-up. Your 2-minute transition time will begin when all teams...
Welcome to the 2025 WCGNIC Gymnastics Championships. I'm Sydney Snead alongside Leilani Johnson, and we are so excited to be here covering this. We've got a stacked lineup today with top talent from across the nation, all vying for this big title. We're going to expect some big skills, fierce competition, and some awesome gymnastics. First, let's take a look at our sponsors. We would like to thank our title sponsor, USA Gymnastics. Your support has allowed this championship to thrive over the past 40 years. USA Gymnastics is coming to Chicago, Illinois, Saturday, July 19th for the 2025 US Classic. US Classics features an elite field of junior and senior gymnasts and is the qualifying event for the 2025 Xfinity US Gymnastics Championships. Also, taking a look at US champs, New Orleans, Louisiana is going to be hosting at their Smoothie King Center this event Thursday, August 7th, Friday the 8th, Saturday the 9th, and Sunday the 10th. So a lot of fun-filled days with some great gymnastics. The tickets for that 2025 Xfinity US Gymnastics Championship will be announced soon, so be sure to be on the lookout for that. And then also take a look at Hygo Apparel, the pioneering force in the realm of gymnastics leotards and apparel, setting the bar for excellence and innovation. Check out their website at hygoapparel.com to order the official leotard of the Women's Collegiate Gymnastics National Invitation Championship. We'll take a look now at the competition order tonight. We've got a lot of great gymnastics in store. Starting off strong on vault, we've got Westchester. Then over to uneven bars, Southeast Missouri. Then over to balance beam, we have Bridgeport. And then on floor exercise, one of my personal favorite events, we have Texas Women's starting.
The first team up is Westchester, led by head coach Barbara Cordova, going into her 17th season, assisted by Stephanie Stevens. This team has a strong culture of grit and growth, and something I loved about them was their theme, baby steps, not big steps, which has definitely aided in their benefit. Posting a qualifying score of a 192.85, also being their season high score, 192.85. And then our next team up is SEMO, led by head coach Ashley Lawson, going into her 7th season, assisted by Lydia Test and Kiera Botel. Something they believe is that they're more than prepared and more than ready, which is shown through their performances throughout this season. And looking at their scores, their qualifying score being a 193.875 and a season high of a 194.725.
Now taking a look at Bridgeport, you can see head coaches there, Lorraine Gallo, Alexis Richardson, JC Levy, and Sarah Crowell. We are going to see a lot of big gymnastics and consistent gymnastics from this team. They've done a phenomenal job continuing to build throughout this past gymnastics season. We've seen so many season highs, and I'm really looking forward to watching how they continue to level up throughout the competition tonight. Take a look yesterday, their qualifying score, that 193.325, that's what they're going to be chasing tonight. But more than that, their season high, you can see, is a 194. So that's what they're going to be trying to hit. I think if they're around that range, they're going to have a successful meet. Also taking a look, we're going to move over to Texas Women's, led by coaches Lisa Bowerman, Zan Jones, Kiana George, and Delaney Bruns. What a phenomenal season this program has had, setting a record in March with a 196.6, the highest team score this season, but had so many ups and downs, but have continued to fight and build on their resilience. Their phrase being undeniably us just shows the confident identity that they have in one another and in that team, and the internal belief that they have amongst their teammates. I'm really looking forward to watching them. Take a look at that qualifying score, 195.7, but like I mentioned earlier, season high of a 196.6. We're gonna see some big gymnastics from them.
Running team scores will be on the video board. If you miss a score, you can also check out Virtius.com for all of the score updates.
We will be underway shortly to show you guys this live gymnastics. Leilani, what are you most looking forward to tonight?
I'm really excited to see some high-level gymnastics. I feel like the energy is already high. All these teams are just pumped up and ready to go and see who comes out top in this final.
I'm really looking forward to that too. At this point in the season, I always like to say everyone's kind of on autopilot, right? You know your gymnastics, you've done it so many times. So now it's really just about kind of doing it in your sleep and being able to have that consistency that you do day in and day out. But also to highlight, these athletes have worked so hard day in and day out for this exact moment. So not to put extra pressure on it, that's what makes these competitions really fun. But again, this is what you're building up that whole season for.
I totally agree with you saying how the team is on autopilot and it's kind of just really trusting the gymnastics they've done all season, trusting those reps, trusting all those practices, and really just getting out there and leaving it all on the floor. And just not second guessing anything and just putting out the best gymnastics they can.
Yeah, absolutely. And pretty soon we're going to see a quad box, so you'll be able to follow along, like I mentioned, live or on the Virtius website. Take a look at that for the live scoring, which is really nice. It comes in live time. Very easy to follow along with. I love being able to have that pulled up in front of me as well. But also the quad box, there's going to be, your eyes are going to be moving in so many directions. That's what makes it so fun at these championship meets. Everyone's going at once, so you can just feel the energy, feel the excitement in the arena. And that's always one of my favorite parts in watching these championship meets.
This concludes the touch.
Looks like we are about ready to get underway with the competition.
Judges on vaulting bars, you may take control of your event. Up first for Westchester on vault, Bridget Sullivan. Leading on
Starting on
for SEMO,
vault,
Sydney Starting
you
on
can
lead
see
for
the
Bridgeport,
right
Anthem,
box bars on the left right now.
for Tita, Bailey Upton.
Up now on vault, you can see Really nice Yurchenko layout. Love the body position she had throughout the vault. She was able to hone in on that landing. I love that minimal movement there. So really nicely done for their starter for Westchester. Nice start by them. You can see balance beam right there as well, getting ready to start. I will say balance beam, it's that make or break event, really difficult to start on. So I will say there's probably a little bit of that extra pressure added to an event like balance beam in general, but again, starting off. So we'll see what they do with the opportunity here.
It looks like on bars for SEMO, we have Sydney Crouch with a nice release there to a connection. With a solid dismount to finish.
So far on the right side of your screen, balance beam, a really solid routine. I've loved how confidently she's been moving through, because like I mentioned before, this is not an easy event to start on. Just doing that front aerial into that back handspring, wanting to get that connection, really important for that start value with the judges. You're wanting to start at that 10.0, having to build up through those bonus, those connections, those acro skills. So far, so good.
And it looks like up on floor for T-Dub, it is Bailey Upton. Something about T-Dub's floor routines, they are always telling a story, and they match each athlete perfectly, especially to go along with their dynamic tumbling, like that first pass. Really dynamic leap passes as well, just kept them moving and going along. Solid double pike with the solid finish.
On the right side of your screen, waiting on vault. We have Shannon Carroll getting ready, waiting for that green flag from the judges.
Very strong leadoff for T-Dub on floor from Bailey Upton.
And another nice Yurchenko layout over on vault. Again, the judges are really looking for that amplitude off the table, that body position in the air. And then one of the most important, that landing. All of the athletes are going to want to see on every apparatus that stuck landing to minimize the deductions that they're getting.
Looks like up for SEMO on bars is Caitlin Hamilton. With the nice toe hand release to overshoot. And just wrapping this routine up with a stuck dismount.
Now taking a look at balance beam, wanting to continue that build throughout the lineups on every event. But again, your leadoff does a great routine. So continuing to just build off that momentum and that energy that they have. Getting ready to go, Emily Hernandez for Bridgeport. Taking a look at that score, 9-7 from Samantha Krenzel. What a huge start to this lineup. That's a very solid routine and score for your first athlete up. You can see just the energy and the excitement in the background, all the cheers. That's one of my favorite parts, like I mentioned earlier, of the competitions like this.
I agree, but it looks like SEMO is really excited about the score that they're about to put up, so I guess we'll just wait and see.
And you saw Hernandez starting off with that back handspring, back layout acro series into a beautiful front toss. So far, I'm really impressed with how they're able to move through these routines, and just like I mentioned, that confidence that they have, you can tell through not only their skills, but their dance as well. They're having a great time out there. That's what it's all about.
I agree. Being able to be confident on the beam and just own your skills makes it just so much easier to move through your stuff.
And she finishes that with a round off 1.5 little hops, so that'll be a deduction there. But overall, beautifully done routine. Right back over to vault, we have Lily McFarland. She does that Yurchenko topped full. Thought it was really nicely done. Again, landed a little bit chest forward, so that'll be a deduction, but still a great vault.
And up on floor for T-Dub is Cami Zarlingo, opening up with a big double tuck. One of my favorite things about floor is not even doing the routine myself, but seeing my teammates also do the choreography with me. Like they're out there, and it just makes the energy 10 times better. And looks like Caitlin Hamilton from SEMO put up a 9.85 from that bar routine.
We've seen some big scores right out of the gate here, so it's going to be for a close competition tonight.
With the nice 1.5 front lay that she did effortlessly. To be able to have stamina to dance and do such big passes takes a lot of preparation, and T-Dub shows that off really well.
Over to balance beam. We've got Madeline Viles. Leilani, a question for you taking a look at beam. Do you think you could go up on balance beam right now and do your beam routine?
It depends if you want the skills included. Dance, 100%. The skills, I might pass.
Great answer. Dance is a great answer. But looking at balance beam, she just did a round off back layout. That is a very unique skill. I have to highlight that. Super impressive, and she made that look very easy. So nicely done there.
And on bars for SEMO, Gracie Jones with a nice solid routine. And so far, SEMO is building up some great momentum in this lineup after only the third routine.
Absolutely. I feel like every team is starting to build up that momentum, like you said, finishing with that round off 1.5 dismount from Madeline Viles. Beautiful routine. They're going from a 9.7, a 9.625. That's going to be another great score for them. So far, so good on Bridgeport's side.
Sydney, what do you think are some things that the judges are looking for on vault that make or break that high score?
Great question. I think the points of emphasis that the judges are really looking at are the amplitude, that height, that amplitude that you're getting off of the table, the extension that you're throughout, whether it's a Yurchenko layout, a full, a half, whatever that is, that body position in the air, so that execution aspect of it, and then that stuck landing. And you'll hear us mention that a couple of times, but at this point in the season, it's all about the landings because that can make the biggest difference in a score or in a first place team and a second place team. So you'll hear us mention that and call those out, but stuck landings are always a priority on any event.
Nice double pike from Bailey. With huge dynamic leap passes. And it looks like SEMO put up a 9.725 from Gracie Jones.
Taking a look on the right side of your screen, up on balance, we have Hannah Berry going for Bridgeport. Madeline Biles coming in with a 9.625. So again, those consistent scores on this lineup. That handspring back layout had that big wobble there, but was able to stay on. That is something to point out. That makes a difference of taking that 5/10 deduction of a fall. So props to her for being able to hold on to that. Again, to note, the balance beam is 4 inches wide, so it is a lot harder than these athletes make it seem. She does that switch leap to that shuttle quarter connection there. A little bit off and a little bit of form execution. We hinted on that on vault. The judges are looking at that execution. That goes for all events as well. Those straight legs, pointed toes, really long lines is what we want to see.
Up on bars from SEMO is Ava Johnston. SEMO has really started off this rotation with really nice releases and connections. And finishing strong with a stick, an exclamation point to that routine for sure.
Over on vault, we have McCarthy King getting ready to go for Westchester. She does our Yurchenko layout again. Notice the distance that she got from the table to her landing. I loved how she was able to have not only the amplitude that we mentioned, but again, that distance and that strong landing as well.
And it looks like up on floor for T-Dub is Sophia Isbo. Starting off strong with the double tuck, a little step forward. Something the judges typically look for when it comes to tumbling is when you are doing a back pass, your goal is to step backward to show that you've completed your full rotation. Same thing goes for front. If you step backwards, kind of the judges see that you didn't fully rotate that pass. So really just making sure you're getting enough amplitude to finish your skills.
I think one thing to note too, on an event like floor and even beam, that artistry aspect, so the choreography, the floor, not just the acros and the skills, all of that plays such an important role and factor into what the judges see and how that score is going to be tallied and made. So again, acro skills and the tumbling, very important, but the dance, the jumps, that artistry aspect are just as important as well.
I agree. Being able to show musicality and being able to perform and show your personality in the floor routine just kind of gives the judges the full experience alongside your tumbling as well.
up on balance beam now. We have Hannah Berry.
Up on bars for SEMO is Taylor Engel. With the huge straddle Jaeger. Making sure hitting those handstands on that release.
Yeah, Leilani, walk us through what are those points of emphasis for bars?
Typically, the judges are looking for all your hit handstands in really form, whether that be bent knees, flex feet, arms, and then especially those stuck landings and really solidifying your routine.
Absolutely.
You kind of touched on it earlier, but how important is it to have rhythm and being fluid when on beam?
It's so important because that artistry aspect is just as big of a deal on beam as it is floor. So it's being able to flow through your routine. I also think it helps out with those cues and those breathers that are very crucial in an event like balance beam. So far, Bridgeport's done a phenomenal job of being able to express that artistry, but also have been spot on with their acro skills and connections as well. So far, this routine has been so clean. The toe point execution, I've loved watching throughout. Just has her dismount right here coming up. She's gonna do that round off, double full dismount, super impressive. Has a slight hop backwards, but that might have been one of my favorite routines of the night so far. Great job to Abigail Kenny on balance beam there.
And right now on floor for T-Dub is Sophie Hernandez, starting out with a huge front through to double pike. Typically, when you have combination passes like that, they're usually a 2-pass routine. So it'll be interesting to see what her last pass is going to be.
Right side of your screen on vault, we have Corinne Gruber doing a Yurchenko layout. It looks like she got a stick from the angle that we're seeing, so really impressive. It's hard to tell, but I think that was a stick, or if not, pretty close to a stick on that. So what a great way to round out rotation 1 for Westchester on vault.
And Sophie ending with a floaty 1.5 front lay and still maintaining her stamina and her dance. And I'd call that a solid routine for Texas Women's. I think they'll definitely be pleased with the score from this routine.
Just waiting on the 6th athlete now, Olivia Imbarlina, to anchor for Bridgeport. And wow, what a great start for this team, truly. I said it at the beginning of the competition, starting on beam is not easy, and they really have taken that challenge and run with it.
I agree. So far, this first rotation is bringing out a lot of good routines, and I'm ready to see this momentum carry on through the rest of the meet. Up on bars for SEMO, we have Jocelyn Hernandez. Like I mentioned earlier with SEMO and their connections and their releases. Almost found that stick, but managed to make it small. And I think SEMO will definitely be happy with the score they get for this bar rotation.
We'll be able to see their reaction behind us on the screen here while we take a look at Olivia Imbarlina. This is the last routine for Bridgeport, so they're going to want a really good score here. Hannah Berry taking a 9.375, so they're probably hoping to drop that if they can. Starting off with that front aerial. had that wobble and lifted her leg up. So looks like she probably would have connected something out of that. She'll have to go back and redo it here. She does that front aerial into that back handspring. No problems on that one though.
And the floor anchor for Texas women's is Kylie Gambari. As we mentioned earlier about musicality and being able to perform on the floor, her routine for sure is something that you do not want to miss because it is a full-on performance.
Oh, you sit back and watch that floor routine. Finishing on beam with that back handspring and tucked 1.5. Great job hitting that. It's going to be a good score for Bridgeport.
And Kylie starting off her floor routine with a gorgeous double pike to a stick, might I add. And as I mentioned earlier, my favorite part of watching floor routines is watching your teammates do it with you as well.
It's always fun. I used to say, you don't just have your routine, but you have maybe 7 or 8 more that you have memorized.
And I think that front full was supposed to have another flip out of it, but still keeping the routine moving and kind of a deep landing on that double tuck, but still way to finish it off for Texas women's.
Absolutely. We'll wait on that score. So far, we'll take another look here at our sponsors. We'd like to thank USAG and the support that they've given us over the past 40 years as a sport as a whole. USA Gymnastics is coming to Chicago Saturday, July 19th for the 2025 US Classics. You don't want to miss that. It's going to have a ton of elite fields of juniors and seniors. And then join us in NOLA Smoothie King Center August 7th through the 10th to watch US Champs. The tickets for that will be announced soon, so be on that lookout. And then again, please go check out HiGo Apparel, the pioneering force in the realm of gymnastics leotards and apparel. Their website is higoapparel.com. You're able to order that official leotard of the Women's Collegiate Gymnastics National Invitation Championship. So also, you can see the link right there. Be sure to go check it out. Very cool. That leotard is stunning. And again, special edition. So I might have to go order one, even though I am technically retired. But hey, can't have enough leotards, right? We'll take a look here at this event summary. You can see Westchester with a 47.475. Riley Harada really sticking out with her 9.6 to lead the charge there. We also have SEMA with a huge 48.825. So almost taking the lead there again. Huge performance by Kaylin Hamilton with that 9.85. That was a stellar bar routine. Over to Balance Beam Bridgeport, we talked about how consistent and strong their beam lineup was. 48.125. Again, still waiting on that last score, but one of my favorite routines, Samantha Krenzel, 9.7 to start off this lineup. She did her job, and it was a huge in pressure situation that she had. So congrats to them. And then looking at Texas women's with that big 48.9 in the lead right now. All of their scores just continuing to build. But the biggest one going to Bailey Upton, starting them out with a 9.825. We are also waiting on their last score as well. So there could be a couple of score changes in the final total there. But again, it's going to be a close competition. Leilani, what are your thoughts so far?
I feel like this is going to be a close meet. I kind of mentioned it before, and I'm going to say it again, because to go out the gate with these huge routines and these big scores, there's no telling what the rest of this meet is going to look like.
Absolutely. We saw some great performances, and it's only going to continue to get better. So be sure to stick around on this event to continue watching some great gymnastics. You can see here the next event lineups. We're going to have Texas women's on vault. On uneven bars, Westchester will be there. Balance beam, we'll have Southeast Missouri. And then floor exercise, Bridgeport will be on. So, Leilani, what are you most excited for in this upcoming rotation?
I'm really excited to see the momentum from these first rotations carry out through the next set of rotations. For T-Dub on vault, they are a force when it comes to vault with huge vaults. And Westchester seemed like they had a pretty good day on bars yesterday, so I'm really excited to see what they bring. And alongside SEMO on beam, they've had some pretty good beam routines this season, so I'm really excited for them to keep that up. And then Bridgeport with their huge floor routines, I'm just excited to see what performances come out and what personalities show.
Absolute. welcome back to the 2025 WCGNIC Gymnastics Championships. Thanks for joining us here. I am alongside Leilani Johnson. I am Sydney Snead, and we're thrilled to be here watching some phenomenal gymnastics. Let's just talk about that first rotation. Texas women's taking the lead on floor exercises. We saw a lot of strong performances, but Leilani, tell me what your thoughts are, what you think you can expect the rest of the competition.
I really thought they started off great. Everyone was really dynamic and just kind of got after their routines. And I'm kind of looking forward to the same thing in this rotation as well. Just people attacking their routines, trusting their skills, and really just giving it all they have.
Absolutely. I think one thing that you have to keep in mind is each event apparatus is so different. So vault and floor, you have so much adrenaline. It's such a powerful event. Whereas bars and beam, you kind of have to come down and have that calm energy. And so I'm interested to see how each team is able to navigate through those events and how they perform throughout, because it's a lot. It's a huge emotional toll as well as physical toll on your body and that mental side as well, which definitely makes gymnastics more fun, but can be difficult as well. So we're going to get started over on vault with a Yurchenko laid out full. Wow, what a great start for Texas women's. You could see the distance she had from that vault table to the landing. She was able to take that small hop backwards. Really impressive. That's going to be a good score for them. From Elena Reed. Really good job.
I totally agree. Starting off the vault rotation with a huge full to stick, I feel like it's only going to go up for the rest of the rotation.
On balance beam, we have Naya Reeder from Southeast Missouri getting a little pep talk before balance beam. Leilani, did you like when your coaches would come up and talk to you before beam, or were you kind of like, hey, let me just do my thing? Everyone's different, but I'm curious.
I was very much, you can talk to me if you want. We can just have a good little conversation, and then I kind of just zone out from there. How about you?
I think I had a couple of cues, and then I like more in my own zone, in my own headspace. I think that made me feel more comfortable for sure.
And on bars for Westchester was Cara Vargo, ending that routine solid.
Nice connection there. Again, balance beam, I will continue to say it's such a hard apparatus. So staying calm, cool, and collected is what I like to think about. That front toss into the jump, beautifully done. She's able to stay on because she did look a little bit off, but you'd be surprised with how impressive these athletes can see some of these skills.
And up on floor for Bridgeport is Madeline Vile, starting off with the 1.5 front leg.
She ends with that Boehner back pike off the end of the beam. Couldn't quite get that stick, but still a solid routine and start for Southeast Missouri on balance beam.
Madeline gearing for the second pass. A Rudy to stag jump. I know how I was talking about T-Dub on floor earlier and their routines and personality, but I also feel like Bridgeport's routines fit each individual athlete.
Choreography is so important because you spend hours aside from the actual gymnastics practicing your choreography. So love getting to watch those. Over on vault, the right side of your screen, another huge layout your Yurchenko full from Bailey Upton. They're continuing to build with these vaults. That's going to be another big score for them as well.
And Madeline wrapping up that floor routine nicely for Bridgeport. And it looks like getting ready for bars for Westchester is Riley Harada.
Over on balance beam, we have Jordan Napolitano getting ready to mount here. Still waiting on that score from Naya Reeder, who went before her on this event.
Riley being able to save that overshoot. Finishing tall on that giant fold. So a minor step on that dismount, but still overall a clean routine for Westchester.
We saw him beam that switch leap to that split half connection there. A little bit of wobbles, but she was able to keep moving through that. So nice job there. Triple series, back handspring, back layout. Very difficult with that 3 acro right there. I would have liked to have seen a little bit of straighter legs and pointed toes throughout. The judges can deduct on that execution aspect of the routine, but again, she's still moving through very confidently, very nicely. Naya Reeder getting that 975 right before her. She does a gainer full off the end though and holds that stick. Really like how she was able to soak that landing and hold it for those judges.
Looks like next for Bridgeport we have Tamara Singletary.
Yeah, another great fault from Snead King. Texas women's Bailey Upton getting a 9.675 before her. So again, those big scores starting to pile on as Texas women is still holding that lead.
And Tamara gearing up for this first pass. Starting off with a very powerful double full. I can already tell this routine requires a lot of stamina, and she has it.
This is a fun one to just sit back and watch. I love the dance and the choreography.
I agree.
On balance beam, we have Ailey Cohen starting off with a strong back handspring, back layout. No wobbles there.
Getting ready for this last pass here. Ending with a double tuck to a solid finish. Definitely props to the people who end their routines with doubles, because it takes a lot of endurance and a lot of power to be able to pull off that last pass.
Absolutely, and the height on that was insane. So doing that for a last pass and being able to rise that much is very impressive. Ooh. She was able to stay on the balance beam there. Had a couple of arm circles, so that will be a deduction that the judges will take. Not sure quite how much. They could take as many as even 3/10, one for each arm circle depending. But again, she was able to stay on. That's the most important part. And with a nice clean double full dismount. I really like these double full dismounts that we're seeing, because I feel like at the collegiate level, they've become less and less popular. And I think they look so beautiful. So I love that.
And on bars, we have Melina Ringas with a solid connection there. Really trying to make sure they're hitting those handstands. With a stuck double leg. Could have had a little tighter knees, but she managed to find that landing to stick.
Now getting ready to vault for Texas women. Trinity Cappy does that Yurchenko full. Really impressive seeing their lineup so far, all doing those Yurchenko fulls. I liked how she had that straight body position through the full twist. That's hard to do. She didn't have a pike down, which again, that would have been a deduction if she did. We see that a lot of times when these athletes are trying to land on vault. So for her to be able to kind of break out of that, I really liked being able to see that, and that's going to be a good score for them as well.
And getting ready for floor for Bridgeport is Lola Sepulveda. When it comes to floor, something the judges are looking for is amplitude on your tumbling, the split positions, rotations of your leap and jumps, making sure you're getting credit for those skills, and making sure you're really grounding those landings and staying solid with no little foot shifts or hops or anything.
Yeah, to kind of emphasize from that, they are allowed to take that lunge, but it has to be within reason. So if the lunge is way too big, or if they land short, the judges obviously can deduct for that. But again, they're allowed to take that small lunge.
A little short coming around that pass, a little knee buckle, but still managed to pull it off and keep her team flowing.
Over on balance beam for Southeast Missouri, we have Leah Parton, who just mounted. Ailey Cohen got that 9.5. Again, the biggest deduction coming from those arm circles that she had on that leap combination. So far, that's going to be the score to drop. Gearing up here for this acro series. Beautiful back handspring back layout. I like the straight legs and the extension she had on that.
Overall solid routine for Lola Sepulveda, so just waiting to see that score on floor.
So far, so good on this balance beam routine. Really strong throughout her acro series and all these leap combinations. One of the highlights being that execution. Good form is really hard to teach. So the gymnasts that have it come naturally, you can really tell. And she ends with that gainer full, laid out full off the side into almost a stick, it looked like. So that's going to be a big score for them.
And up on bars for Westchester is Sarah Eskew with a nice ganger into a pack and a switch kip. Making sure she's hitting those handstands. And finishing off with a nice giant full double.
Up on vault now, Sophie Isbell doing another Yurchenko full. One thing to point out on that was the height she got. I love that block and that height she got off of the table. And then again, their body positions have been something that has really stuck out to me throughout this rotation. Trinity Caffey getting a 9.8 right before her. So seeing them build and trying to get those higher scores is going to be crucial for them to continue with that lead that they have.
with a front through to 1.5. I believe that's our second front through of the day. Getting ready for this next pass. A Rudy back layout step out. A really nice clean routine from Abigail Kinney. And I think Bridgeport will be pleased with that floor score.
Absolutely. Looks like we have a couple more athletes left to go to finish out the second rotation. Sophie Isbell from that Yurchenko full vault getting a 9.775. Right now we have Caitlin Hoyland, who's going to anchor this vault lineup for Texas Women's. Getting ready to go here. She's going to do a Yurchenko 1.5. Really impressive vault. That starts from a 10.0. So that's an opportunity to get a very high score there. The rest of those polls starting from a 9.95. So she's going to be looking at a higher score for that vault.
And on bars for Westchester, we have Jordan Coleman with a missed release. And getting ready to pick up where she left off.
Over on balancing two, we have Jaden Costa mounting now.
Jordan with the good save on those handstands and managing to finish that routine off strong.
We just saw that triple series. The second one we've seen tonight, that Keen spring back layout. I love watching those. They are so difficult, but so beautiful when done nicely. Leah Parton right before her went 9.625. So far, Southeast Missouri is able to drop that 9.5 if these next two routines can beat that score.
And up next on floor for Bridgeport is Margaret Coyle. And it looks like
Gainer full finishing on balancing with that huge celebration there. Nice job. Like she's going with the beat of the music a little bit there.
I definitely agree, especially after that huge first pass. Solid second pass, still moving right into that dance. Getting ready to finish off this routine on the third pass. With a solid Rudy with a little hop to finish. And that is it for Bridgeport. on floor.
On balance beam with Taylor Ingle anchoring for Southeast Missouri. That anchor spot, always a lot of pressure, especially if there were mistakes in the lineup. But another triple series there, no problems, no wobble on that. She does at that switch straddle quarter there. Nicely done, being able to get that connection there as well. So Southeast Missouri hoping to drop that 9-5 with a hit right here. Can she get this stick? Round off, double full, small hop backwards, but a solid routine for them. They've had an incredible lineup. They look very confident, very impressive. So we will wait to see what they give Taylor Ingle on that beam routine.
Up next is McCarthy Kane for Westchester on bars. And it looks like Jordan Coleman put up a 8.75 after that fall, and now we have another fall from McCarthy, so hopefully we're still gonna have to count a fall, but hopefully we can just get back up and pick up where we're moving. And that will wrap up the bar rotation for Westchester. My apologies. Earlier, it was Abigail Kinney on the floor. Now up, we have Margaret Coyle.
Like she is the last athlete to go in this rotation, so all eyes on her. But that's the best part, I'd say.
Nice dynamic leap passes. Gearing up for this last pass. With a tuck full to Stagg. And I'd call that a strong finish for Bridgeport on floor.
Absolutely. Really nice way to round out the second rotation. And we keep saying how this is going to be a close competition, but it really is starting to look like it halfway through. Taking another look here at our amazing sponsors of tonight's competition. Thanking USA Gymnastics for the support they've allowed for this championship to thrive over the last 40 years. But USA Gymnastics is coming to Chicago, Illinois, July 19th for the 2025 US Classics. tickets are now on sale. There's going to be a lot of good elite junior and senior gymnasts. So be sure to check that out. And to buy tickets for the USA meets the Xfinity US Gymnastics Championship hosted in New Orleans at the Smoothie King Center. That's going to be August 7th through August 10th. Tickets are going to be on sale soon, so be sure again to be on the lookout and stay up to date with that. And then we've mentioned it before tonight, but check out Hygo Apparel, the pioneering force of gymnastics leotards and apparel, setting the bar for excellence and innovation. Take a look at how beautiful that is, supporting your favorite college team at the WCGNIC Championships. I already said earlier in the broadcast, I would love to have a leotard, a special edition one like that. They're so beautiful. So again, be sure to check them out at hygoapparel.com. As we head into this meet, halfway over, let's take a look at the event summary from Leilani.
So on vault from Texas Women's, they put up a 48.825. So a really strong vault lineup for T-Dub. And then moving on to the uneven bars for Westchester with a 46.8, which they had 2 falls, so they're going to have to count one of those falls. And moving on to beam for SEMO with a 48.725. Really strong beam routines, and hopefully they can drop that. They will be able to drop that 9.5. And then lastly, for Bridgeport on floor, they put up a 48.5 with some solid floor routines.
Absolutely. Next event lineups, let's take a look. We've got Bridgeport coming up strong on vault. On uneven bars, Texas Women's, will they be able to keep up that lead? Because looking ahead, Westchester, they are going to be on balance beam. Let's see how they can continue to build that momentum. And then floor exercise, we have Southeast Missouri. You can see there that 97.55 they have up against Texas Women's 97.725. So that 2/10 margin that they're in right there is going to be close, rounding out these next 2 events. Bridgeport and Westchester absolutely still in it as well. So we'll see some strong gymnastics from them too.
Searching for now, but I have only reason. Keep you closer to my when the sun goes down.
To the WCGNIC 2025 championships, we've got an exciting meet underway. A race for that national championship title. It has been a close meet so far. We are taking a look right now as teams have gotten started. Bridgeport on vault, Texas Women's on bars, Westchester on beam, and Southeast Missouri on floor. Over on balance beam now, we have McCarthy Keene leading off this lineup strong.
And it looks like on bars, we have Bailey for T-Dub. And then also going to floor, we have Caitlin Hamilton for SEMO.
We just saw on balance beam that back handspring, back layout, acro series. Beautifully done. One of my favorites right there to watch. Just with that execution and extension level throughout.
Caitlin with a nice 2.5 to start.
Doing that front walkover on balance beam. You saw that wobble and that break a little bit in the connection. So she's gonna try to add some more right there.
With a powerful front lay, front full.
Ending on balance beam, McCarthy Keene with that gainer pike off the end. A solid start for Westchester.
Caitlin gearing up for this last pass. With a solid, clean 1.5 front lay. Really enjoying this routine. Really just captivating not only your teammates, but the audience as well. And I have to say that's a strong start for SEMO on floor.
Up on vault now, Gracie Walker getting ready to go, following Tamira Singletary's 9.65. Here she goes. That is going to be a Yurchenko full. Now, she had a great block off the table, but slowed down on that rotation, so she's had that pike down, which led to that chest down landing. So the judges will probably take a deduction again on that pike down and that step forwards, but still a strong vault for Bridgeport.
Looks like for T-Dub, Lainey Hunt will be up next. Looks like we're doing some conferencing.
Up on beam now, Lydia Stoner getting ready to mount. Still waiting on that score from McCarthy Keene. Going to start with that front toss. Wow, into the back handspring. Beautiful connection on that acro series. I really like the height she was able to get. Looked like she was sitting in a chair on that finish, which was so upright. Very impressive. Oh, a little bit of a wobble there on that jump connection, but she's able to hold it and stay on.
Looks like Lainey is getting started on bars. A straddle Jaeger.
Another front tight cross there on balance beam. She has 2 of those, which is unique for a balance beam routine.
In a solid finish. If only that foot didn't move for that stick, but overall a nice solid finish for T-Dub on bars from Lainey.
Lydia Stoner finishing off that beam routine with that full gainer full off the side. She did land a little bit short, so that's going to be A slightly bigger deduction from the judges, but overall solid performance.
And up next on floor is Annalie Phillips for SEMO.
On vault as well on the right side of your screen, we have Emily Hernandez getting ready to go. She does at your Jinko full, beautiful block off the table. Just struggled to get that around in enough time. So had that big pike down that is going to be a pretty big deduction, but again, I love that amplitude.
And really firm double pike from Annalie, really solid in that finish. And getting ready for this pass here. With a front lay, front full. And that solid 1.5 front lay to finish it out. Once again, I think SEMO's going to be pleased with that floor score.
And if you just saw that very unique mount where she jumped backwards and caught the beam, so cool to watch. It makes me so nervous though every single time, but she nailed that. It's Aiden McGuinn that just did that up on beam for Westchester right now. Really pretty on that straddle jump right there. You can see that extension she had in her legs. The judges want to see that 180-degree split on leaps, on jumps. That's what they're looking for. She does that front aerial, and you can see how she wobbled on that, trying to connect it. So she's gonna have to move back and retry right here. She does that solid front aerial into that back tuck. No issues on that one. As she's continuing to move throughout.
And up on bars for teed up is Kami Zarlingo. We did just have a fall over, so just waiting for her to get chalked back up to start off again.
And Leilani, walk us through, you never want to have a fall, but what does that add kind of to the rest of that lineup? I wanted to talk through some of that. You make mistakes here and there, but it's so important for the rest of your team to have your back and be confident in their gymnastics, but kind of walk us through what you feel, you know, like following that fall or mistake.
I would definitely say it's added pressure, but just kind of knowing yourself as a competitor, you just have to know that you trust your gymnastics, you trust your skills, and just being able to put that score up for your team despite whatever came before you. And knowing you also can't control what comes after you as well. So just being able to do your job and just show up for the team.
Absolutely. Up on vault right now, Abigail Kenny with that front tuck out of the vault. That's a blind landing there, and she was able to nail that. Very difficult landing to nail though, but wow, she made that look extremely easy. That's going to be a good score for Bridgeport. Going back to what we were talking about, following a fall or a big mistake, always more pressure added from that, but it does give a great opportunity for the next athlete up to reset the rest of that team and lineup.
I agree. And now Kami is talking up again after a missed release, just trying to reset and just collect yourself to finish the rest of this routine.
It's so tough when mistakes are made, especially on a release move, because you want to keep that score, and a lot of times you have to repeat that entire routine. So mentally, it just can mess with you when you have to continue after a fall. It can be difficult.
I agree. And now up on floor for SEMO is Sydney Crouch.
Also up on balance beam, Natalie Marshall. Still waiting on Tina McGuinn's score before her. getting ready for her acro series. Back handspring, back layout. Oh, couldn't quite stay on the first ball that we've seen on balance beam for Westchester.
Sydney with a 1.5 front full. Really keeping the energy in this routine. I really haven't seen it die off. Really just kept it strong.
That is something else to add, the energy that you're feeling, not even just for the athlete up, but for that whole team. Being able to keep the energy up throughout 4 events is very difficult. It's easy and comes natural when you're having a great time, but that is after the meet where you almost just crash because you're so exhausted in the best way possible. Up on beam, though, Natalie Marshall, we saw that fall, so Westchester will be hoping to drop that. A little bit of added pressure for these next two in the lineup, so hopefully they will be able to reset and get them back on track. Taking a look at vault, we have Lola Sepulveda getting ready to go here. Following Abigail Kinney's 9.8. So some big scores from Bridgeport. Let's see if she can add on to that. Really nice full. One thing that stuck out to me was the distance that we talked about before, but again, those pike landings are where they're gonna see the most deduction from the judges. They wanna see that upright landing, minimal step, and so unfortunately when you have to pike down, it usually causes that forward step or forward landing, which could result in a bigger deduction. I love that Taylor Swift playing in the back as well, and that everyone on this broadcast can hear it, sing along.
I agree. And now it looks like we're getting those final scores in from that last routine, and up next is Cami Zarlingo.
Up on balance even now, we have Caroline Cascuden. Again, a pressure situation here for her. She does that back layout, step out, nice job.
And Cami with the nice connection, making sure she's hitting those handstands. Do a nice solid dismount. Picking up the energy back for T-Dub after that last fall, so hopefully that transcends to the rest of the lineup.
Right there we saw that back handspring, back layout, acro series. We've seen a lot of those on balance beam today. It's a very common acro skill there. But so far, Caroline's doing a great job being able to handle this extra layer of pressure. We'll see right here if she can finish it off with a stick on this dismount. Getting her ready. It's going to be a round off. 1.5. Oh, I think she might have moved her foot a little bit if I'm being picky. But that was really nicely done. It looked like she almost had the stick. Couldn't quite tell. We'll see what the judges do with that. Nice job.
And it looks like Leah Parton for SEMO is up next on floor.
On vault as well, we have Nova Stark anchoring with a Suk full. A very unique vault that we don't see often. That's Sukahara. She did have a bit of pike down, like I've mentioned before a few times, and had to take that step outside those white lines. The judges can deduct a little bit more on the directional part of that if they want to. We'll see what they do. But overall, a really strong vault lineup for Bridgeport. Abigail Kinney sticking out with that 9.8 to lead them.
So far, SEMO has also had some really dynamic and fun routines while maintaining their huge tumbling passes and controlled landings.
On the right side of your screen, balance beam with Lily McFarland anchoring for Westchester. Caroline Cascadon before had a hit routine, so they're going to be looking for the same thing here out of McFarland. So far, she's delivering. Little bit of wobbles here and there. Could be some of the nerves. Again, we talk about that pressure situation. They're really just looking for that hit routine, but nicely Switchley to split half combination there. I love the toe point and the extension that she's been able to show throughout the routine. Finishing off with that round off 1.5. Almost had the stick, slight hop backwards, but did a great job covering it and being able to end that beam rotation for Westchester.
And Leah wrapping it up on floor for SEMO with that front handspring 1.5. Really overall solid routine, great energy, maintained it throughout. So really SEMO's doing a great job building on floor and really just growing up those scores in the lineup.
Yeah, Leilani, talk to all of us about what that lineup looks like. You want to continue to build athletes 1 through athlete 6. You want to build those scores. Is there any strategy involved with that?
I feel like most of the strategy is keeping routines that don't have similar skills kind of apart in the lineup, making it kind of diverse, but then overall just putting those really dynamic hitters either at the front or the beginning. But I mean, if you have a really dynamic lineup, you can really only build within it and just go up. So I feel like it just kind of depends on the athlete individually and kind of the needs of the floor lineup and what they need. And on bars for Tita, we have Brooke Ferrari. With a solid stick for Tita.
Wow, that was
looks like
huge for them.
And starting to build that momentum back up.
Absolutely. Doing their jobs and ending with a stick, phenomenal. Lily McFarland, also to call out, she anchored for Westchester on beam, and she anchored with a 9.725. So talk about handling a pressure situation. Westchester just did that on balance beam. That's definitely a highlight of the rotation.
And up on floor for SEMO is Maddie Green. With a solid front lay 1.5. Maddie has really been a solid competitor on floor for SEMO this season. Just really being able to keep up her energy and have dynamic tumbling and showing her personality and her routine, really just bring it all together for their team. Huge double tuck to stick. which I already know how hard sticking a double is. So to be able to do it so effortlessly and just move on throughout the routine is quite commendable.
Absolutely. Like I've been saying, they all make it look way easier than it really is.
And I really think that's where it helps to know your gymnastics and just trust yourself and do what you guys practice every single day. And then it shows out during the meet. And up on bars is Caroline Bones.
This is a huge routine for Texas women here. She's following a 9.9. The last two scores, 9.875, 9.9.
And that definitely put an exclamation point on that routine. So who knows what the score is about to be following those huge scores you just mentioned.
One thing I picked up on from this rotation is that there were a couple mistakes on different events, but all the athletes, all the teams were able to bounce back, stay calm, and reset to be able to finish out those lineups with hit routines. That's really impressive, and that's what you want to see when we talk about peaking at the right time and being so on top of your gymnastics and that confidence level. This is exactly what it looks like and what it means. So very cool to be watching.
And the floor anchor for SEMO is Taylor Engel.
Like she will be the last athlete for rotation 3.
And she recently just competed at the NCAA regionals, which is a huge honor, and she competed all around. So to be able to come to nationals, to be able to do that all over again, I know is such a fun experience for her. And opening up with that huge pass and really just holding that finish to solidify what she just did. And really hitting that front lathe 1.5. Really right now, I'm just seeing a lot of solid landings from Taylor, really just kind of owning every skill that she does and really putting that exclamation point on it, letting the judges know that, yes, I hit my requirement, and I'm letting you know that I finished it as well.
That's the best feeling. It looks like we are all set. We'll take another look here. Thanking our USAG sponsors for allowing this championship to thrive these past 40 years. USAG is coming to Chicago Saturday, July 19th for US Classics. Be sure to grab your tickets for that. They are on sale now. Also, USAG Championships in New Orleans, Smoothie King Center. Join us in NOLA August 7th through August 10th. Those Xfinity US Gymnastics Championship tickets will be announced soon, so be sure to be on the lookout for those. And as we mentioned before, Hygo Apparel, setting the bar for excellence and innovation. Check out their website at hygoapparel.com to order the official leotard of the Women's Collegiate Gymnastics National Invitation Championship. You can see right there that special edition leotard. Beautiful, it's stunning. Go get yours today at the link. You can see the description for some more info. But with that, let's take a look at our event summary We saw some phenomenal gymnastics, a couple of mistakes here and there, but like I mentioned before, the teams were able to bounce back and really hone in on the rest of their lineup. You saw Bridgeport come out with a 48.425 on vault. We had Abigail Kinney leading with a 9.8, going over to uneven bars. Texas women, huge 49.125. Caroline bounced with a 9.9. They just had a stellar performance on bars. Then taking a look at Beam Westchester, we saw a mistake halfway through that lineup, but they were able to round it out, ending with the 48.225. Caroline cascaded with that 9.8 leading the way. And then again, floor exercise. Southeast Missouri with a huge 48.75 with Taylor Ingalls 9.8 to anchor and finish them out. Take a look at the bottom too. It's a close match up with the 146.85 from Texas women. Southeast Missouri right behind them, trailing by just a little over 5/10. So again, stay tuned for rotation number 4. We are going to see some more big gymnastics, and we're going to see who is going to take away the national championship title tonight. Taking a look now, next event lineups, we've got Southeast Missouri finishing on vault. I always like to say that's a really fun event to end on. It goes so quick as well. On even bars, we've got Bridgeport finishing balance beam Texas women's. Will they be able to hold on to the lead on one of the most important events? We will find out shortly. And then floor exercise, Westchester, one of the most fun events they get to end on. So stay tuned for some more great gymnastics. We will be right back shortly. in this last rotation, starting off on vault right here. A huge Yurchenko fall to end with a stick. Really impressive for Southeast Missouri's Jaden Casas to get things going for them. Leilani, what are you most looking forward to in this competition, this last rotation?
I'm really looking forward to just seeing how these teams come back, whether it was minor bobbles or even major falls, and just kind of how they finish off the rest of this rotation. Just kind of seeing who's going to get after it the most and really just trust their gymnastics.
Absolutely. You can see Bailey Upton mounting the beam right now for Texas Women's. They're currently in the lead by a little over 5/10. Beam is a tough event to start on, but it's also one of those tough events to end on. It's hard in general, but there can be an extra layer of pressure added a little bit in the back of these athletes' minds, knowing that you have the lead, ending on a tough event, starting off with the back handspring back layout acro series, beautifully done. Love the height she was able to get on that back layout.
And Olivia and Berlina is up on bars right now. With some really nice releases, hitting those handstands. Kind of a big step on the dismount, but really overall solid routine. So a good start off for Bridgeport on bars.
Texas Women's Bailey Upton ending with a front full. Almost had the stick, but again, that's going to be a really big score for their leadoff spot right there.
Yeah, it looks like up on floor for Westchester is Lydia Stoner.
Up on vault now, we have Naya Reeder getting ready for that. Yurchenko tucked full. She takes a hop, a little bit of a hop and a step back. That's going to be a deduction there. I would have loved to have seen those legs together throughout the tuck full, but still a solid vault for Southeast Missouri.
And it looks like Lydia's starting off with a front handspring Rudy. And then having a nice 1.5 front lay for that second pass and really gearing up for this last pass in this routine.
Taking a look at the right side of your screen, we have Sophia Isbell getting ready to mount on balance beam. She's following Bailey Upton, whose score we are still waiting on.
And now we will just wait for Lydia's score for Westchester.
Wow, beautifully done. Back handspring, back layout. We've seen those triple series throughout this competition tonight, but not a layout. Very difficult. Bailey Upton's score coming in at a 9.85. We knew it was going to be a big one, but that's really impressive to start out this lineup. Finishing now around up 1.5, almost had that stick, but nice routine from Sophia Isbell.
And on bars for Bridgeport is Ray Solie. Had a nice save on that handstand with the nice overshoot to handstand and ending with also a bigger step than she would like, but overall still a clean routine for Bridgeport.
Now back over to vault. We have Jocelyn Hernandez. She is following Naya Reeder's 9.65. We'll see her now do that Yurchenko full Really nice job knowing where she's at in the air and knowing where she's at on the landing. That's one thing that's always impressive, that air awareness, being able to minimize that landing deduction, those landing steps. That's going to be a really good score for them.
A solid leadoff score from Lydia Stoner with the 9.65. And now up is Emma Grace Kelly on floor for Westchester. I can now say, though, that every team that's gone on the floor has had really unique music and kind of some throwbacks.
Yeah, I always love the choice of music that these athletes pick because it really gets to express them, their personality, what they want to do. It's always a fun part about it.
I agree. And then on that first pass, just a little too much power. We had a step out of bounds. But also being such a powerful floor tumbler, it's kind of hard to really keep that stuff in bounds if you just have so much power and you don't know how to control it.
Over on beam, we just saw a beautiful back handspring back layout for Texas women's Emma Collegiate. That switch leap to switch leap combination, very difficult. And now doing that front toss. I love the sharp finishes that she has as well throughout her dance and when she's finishing all of those skills and leap combinations. Just has a sense of sharpness that I think always looks very clean from the judge's point of view. Ends with a back handspring, gainer full. Looks like she stuck it from this angle. Couldn't quite tell, but a very emotional routine for her. As Sophia Isbell's score comes in at a 9.875, so Texas women starting to just dominate on the balance beam rotation here.
And up on bars for Bridgeport is Samantha Noakes. With the really nice Jaeger to overshoot connection.
Absolutely. We just saw Ailey Kuhn on vault as well.
And another strong finish for Bridgeport on bars.
It seems like this competition is going by very fast. Sure, they feel the same way, and there's always so much adrenaline involved, but there hasn't been too many judges conference or stop throughout.
I agree. That definitely can make the meet feel longer than it really is with all those judges conferences. But I feel like by the time we blink, this meet's going to be over.
Absolutely. We've got Sophie Hernandez waiting to go on balance beam for Texas women's.
It looks like we just got that score for Emma Grace Kelly coming in at a 9.475. Took a deduction on that out of bounds, but overall it was a clean routine. Just wish we could keep those extra points. And now up is Kat Keener.
Right side of your screen is Sophie Hernandez, dismounted, following Emma Berlichik's 9.85. Wow, they're on fire in this last rotation.
Kat starting up with that huge pass.
Starting out strong with the back handspring back layout. I would have loved to have seen a little bit of that straighter legs toe point, that execution throughout, but still a nice stick there. Another nice leap combination.
And for Kat having that second pass, a 1.5 front lane, ending with the Rudy, I'd say that was a solid floor routine for Westchester.
Sophie Hernandez finishing with a back handspring, 1.5. Looked like she stuck it. She maybe shifted her feet a teeny bit. But again, the judges may not have been able to see that from their angle. Beautifully done beam routine.
And up on bars for Bridgeport is Nicole Pujols.
Over on vault as well for Southeast Missouri, we've got Madison Green getting ready to go.
Really nice toe hand pack from Nicole.
It's going to be your Yurchenko full. Was able to get that nice stuck landing, it looked like, from here. I would have loved to see more height and amplitude off of the table. The judges may deduct for a little bit of low rotation on the full, but overall a solid vault for them.
And a nice finish for Nicole. Really just Bridgeport needs to find those landings and they can really make these scores go up. But overall, they've had really clean bars so far.
Waiting right now on beam, that's Steely King, who will be following Sophie Hernandez.
And up on floor is Caroline Kaskinen. Opening up with a double pike with a little bit of chest down, but still keeping that momentum in her routine. With the nice solid front lay, front full.
Over on balance beam, Steely King doing a back handspring, back layout acro series. Looked like she was crooked on that, but was able to minimize the wobbles and stay on, so nicely done there. And wow, for those of you that saw Sophie Hernandez on beam, she got a 9.9. Steely King doing a front tuck as well. It's very difficult, but great height, was able to stick that. So this is going to be another big score for them if she can stick this dismount right here.
Really loving this routine from Caroline. Really upbeat, high energy. As she's gearing up for this last pass with a 1.5 front tuck, kind of a low squat, but managed to pull it off.
We saw Steely King end with that round off. 1.5 dismount there. The smallest little hop forward, but again, love the artistry throughout and how she was just so confident up there. Like we mentioned before, she's following that 9.9, so it's going to be another big score for Texas women.
And it looks like for Bridgeport, Nicole put up a 9.675.
Over on vault, we saw Taylor Engel just do that Yurchenko full. A lot of sticky feet that we're seeing inside of the arena tonight. Very impressive and fun to watch.
I agree.
We'll see what the judges do with that score.
And up on bars is Emily Hernandez for Bridgeport. Looks like we had to take an extra swing. But she's still swinging with a little hiccup on that pack. It really takes a true bar swinger to be able to readjust and kind of just keep moving after little hiccups and stuff like that. But she manages to pull it off with a nice double A in the minor hop.
Now up on balance beam. Anchoring for Texas women's here, we have Caitlin Hoyland. Now everyone ahead of her in this lineup has hit their routine so far. So I'm sure she's putting pressure on herself for this routine, but really this is the best position to be in because they've all done such a phenomenal job. Just being so consistent throughout this lineup. You just saw her do that beautiful front aerial to back handspring acro series. Just solid as a rock up there right now.
Now on floor for Westchester, we have Lily McFarland.
Let's see that cat leap to side aerial there. She's moving really smoothly throughout this beam routine. Again, Texas women right now, they have 49.325, the Steely Kings 9.85. So, wow, a huge beam rotation for them. Then a gainer fall off the side for Caitlin Hoyland. That's going to be another big score for Texas women. They might have just locked in a really high team total right there on that last routine.
And on your screen right now, you're seeing Lily McFarland, who started with a really huge front through to double tuck with a solid landing. Looks like she's getting ready for this next pass here. Really nice double pike, really trying to find her footing, but managed to find it. And I call that another solid routine for Westchester. I feel like they're really building up in this floor lineup. So if they can just keep this momentum to the last routine, they could put up a really good floor score. And up on bars for Bridgeport is Abigail Kinney.
Talk about it being a close competition. We've only got a handful of athletes left to compete. But so far, it's been such a great night and so exciting being able to watch all of this just amazing gymnastics.
Nice release from Abigail. Into a hit handstand on that overshoot. To a front half. To a six. Like I was mentioning earlier with Bridgeport, really wanting to find those landings, and I think we found it.
Absolutely. And Caitlin Hoyland, who is the anchor for Texas women's on balance team, coming in with a 9.85. So that was their lowest score, a 9.85. That's just speaking volumes to their beam lineup and how well they performed tonight. Coming out with a 49.325. Really big score for them. While we wait on floor exercise, Bridget Sullivan. He will be our last gymnast to go tonight. And we'll get those final scores tallied up.
Trying to get the spirits up for this last routine of the night with a little Cotton Eye Joe. What better way to get ready for floor than doing a little dance to Cotton Eye Joe? Just kind of make you forget about the waiting for the judges to finish conferencing.
Yeah, it's really important to keep in your own bubble and also keep that energy up because floor exercise is such an adrenaline and powerful apparatus. While we're waiting on that, though, we'll take a look here Southeast Missouri, finishing vault with a 48.725.
And I think the judges are ready for floor.
Yeah, this might have been the longest wait time we've had all night. Which is really impressive. It ended up being the last routine of the night.
How nerve-wracking can it be for an athlete to be the last competitor on the floor, with the crowd and just kind of everyone watching them? Do you feel more pressure, or do you kind of still stay in your own bubble?
That's a great question. I think every athlete is different when it comes to that, but I think it's a great opportunity to use the crowd and all the eyes on you. It always gave me more adrenaline, so I loved it. I wanted, hey, all eyes on me. Look what I've been working on, the presentation part, the choreography. So if I'm Bridget Sullivan, I'm amped up, ready to do this floor routine here in front of everyone.
Definitely. And starting off that first pass with a Rudy to Stag.
Seen a lot of Rudies to back layouts or to straddle jumps or stag jumps. That combination has become very popular this year in college gymnastics. That's something that I've noticed.
I agree. And same thing with front throughs as well. Granted, we saw 3 of them today, but those have also kind of been making their way into these floor lineups as of recent. Getting ready for this pass here. I feel like also the trend of today has been front lay, front fulls.
A lot of those, I would agree. It's a very pretty pass to watch, though.
I agree.
So with that, we are concluding our competition. That was the last routine of the night. We'll take another look here and thank our sponsors, USA Gymnastics, for their support for this championship to thrive these past 40 years. USA Classics is coming to Chicago, Illinois, Saturday, July 19th. There's going to be a lot of elite junior and senior gymnasts. It's going to be a big qualification event for the 2025 Xfinity Gymnastics Championships, where that will be taking place in New Orleans, Louisiana, August 7th through August 10th. Those tickets will be announced soon, so set a reminder, keep looking it up, check it out shortly. And then Hygo Apparel, a pioneering force in the realm of gymnastics leotards and apparel, have come out with beautiful WCGNIC special edition leotards. You can take a look right here or check out their website at hygoapparel.com to order the official leotard. So take a look at that link. It is for a great cause. You can see right there how beautiful the leotard is. But again, be sure to check them out. With that, thank you to all of our sponsors. We will take a look here at the event summary. We touched on it a little bit, but Southeast Missouri ending with that 48.725. Taylor Ingalls 9.85 leading the way for them. Great rotation. On uneven bars, we've got Bridgeport finishing with a 48.475. You can see Abigail Kenny's 9.75 to anchor that rotation out for them as well. Nice job. Moving on to balance beam, a stellar lineup and really impressive rotation for Texas women's, coming out with a 49.325. Sophie Hernandez with a 9.9 to lead the way. Was a blast watching them. And then floor exercise, West Chester to round us out. They got a 48.35 with Kat Keener leading the way, 9.75, and Lily McFarland, 9.775. back-to-back there. So again, really impressive on each event. That might have been one of my favorite rotations to watch. We saw a lot of great gymnastics, a lot of high scores. And with that, we see Texas women coming on top to win the championship with a 196-175. They slowly kept inching 10th by 10th, and they came out on top consistently event through event. Leilani, tell us your thoughts on this competition and the final scores.
I thought this was a great meet overall. I feel like there was a lot of resilience, a lot of fight, some hiccups here and there, but I mean, throughout most of the lineups, they were able to pick back up where they left off and really just gave it all they had until the end. And really, I mean, that showed on Tita because they had those 2 falls on bars, and then, I mean, that really kind of kept them at a steady pace, but then they really picked it up when it came to beam, and clearly in their score, it really aided in their benefit.
Absolutely. I'd say that was them peaking at the right time. We will take a look here at the vault lineups. These are the individual winners. Southeast Missouri's Taylor Ingle taking the lead and winning vault with a 9.85. Then you can see Trinity, Cappy, Caitlin Hoyland, and Abigail Kenny all tying for second with that 9.8 as well. You can take a look at the rest of those scores right there. Moving on to bars. Caroline Bounds with a beautifully done routine of a 9.9 from Texas Women's. Very well deserved there. In second place, Brooke Ferrari, also from Texas Women's, 9.875. They had a great rotation. And in third place, Kaylin Hamilton from Southeast Missouri with that 9.85. So again, a ton of high scores that we're seeing across the leaderboard. Over to balance beam, we just saw Sophie Hernandez from Texas Women's finish her competition with a 9.9. Loved watching that. Sophia Isbell with a 9.875 as well. You can see Texas Women's all the way down there with that 9.85 being tied for third, but that just shows you how strong their beam rotation was. Now looking on to floor exercise, we have Bailey Upton from Texas Women taking the lead and winning with a 9.825. Then we have Sophie Hernandez, Margaret Coyle, and Taylor Ingle tying for second with 9.8. So again, you can see the rest of those scores for the all-around. Taylor Ingle, really impressive in the all-around, 39.25. That is not easy to do all 4 events, but on top of that, be consistent and get scores like that either. Congrats to her, as well as Abigail Kenny with a 39.125 coming in second place. So those were our top 2 all-arounders doing all 4 events. You can see the rest of those scores and athletes as well. And then for the team total, Texas Women's, very well deserved. They were just consistent all night long, continued to just chip away 10th after 10th, coming out with that 196-175. Again, it was a joy watching them. Loved their confidence from start to finish tonight. Southeast Missouri ending with the 195-025. Another great showing out for them as well. They had some big scores and they didn't let any mistakes affect them. Really impressive. Bridgeport coming in third with that 193.6. Again, they continued to claw each and every event. Really had some good landings as well and some sticks in there. And then Westchester with a 198.5. Also had a great night. Again, love just that consistency and the confidence that all these teams had. You can see them celebrating the championship right there with the trophy in the middle, Texas Women. But congrats to all of the athletes. They all did such an amazing job. Leilani, any more final thoughts you have?
I just think everyone did a phenomenal job tonight, and all the work they did this season really showed out tonight. So I had the best time watching, especially in the Gold Dome. Like, I would have never imagined Nationals being here. So to be able to see that is such a fun experience.
Absolutely. Well, again, congratulations to all the athletes. Thank you, everyone, for joining us on this Saturday night to watch the WCGNIC 2025 Gymnastics Championships. I am signing off for myself, Sydney Snead, and my broadcasting partner, Leilani Johnson. Thank you again and have a great night.
What an amazing night of college gymnastics. Congratulations once again to Westchester, Bridgeport, and Southeast Missouri State on their tremendous 2025 season. And we want to acknowledge one more time tonight your 2025 Women's Collegiate Gymnastics National Invitational Champions, the Texas Women's University Pioneers. Plan on being back here in the Gold Dome tomorrow at 1 p.m. to see who is crowned as our individual event national champions. That's individual event finals tomorrow afternoon, 1 o'clock p.m. here at the Gold Dome. Thank you for your attendance this evening. Good night, God bless, and speed down the dusty trail.